Hi guys, and welcome to the Awakening Energy. I'm Skeed. Welcome to this Kundalini activation energy. We can also call this universal life force energy. Today I want to talk about a little thing to do with these energies. Just connect in. Just let the energy wash over you, or set your intention for what you wish to use it for today. Before I talk about something that I'm becoming aware of with these energies, first of all, it's quite interesting. People's programming. Because it's, for example, if you make videos talking about magic and witchcraft, you get the typical Christians saying, "Turn to Jesus," because they don't realize Jesus was a witch, did magic. He made potions of hallucinogenic drugs, as has now been proven, water into wine. They've proven wine 2,000 years ago was a mix of toad skins and different plants, and our weddings were a week long because everyone was tripping. A drug dealer, or what would be considered today a drug dealer, then it wasn't, obviously. It's potions master, healer, cast different spells. It was a witch, and they don't see that. But then when it comes to Kundalini and shaktipat, you get the same thing. Well, you get the odd sort of Christian, "Turn to Jesus, what they're doing is evil." But then you also get, it's quite funny, you get normally, as far as I can tell, they come from India, or they come from a Hindu religion. I say a Hindu religion because obviously Hindu is not a religion. It's a mass of religions all stuck together. Shaivism, Shaktivism, Jaivism, so many of them. And they say, "Oh, you can't do this, only a guru can." So, really? But I'm doing it. "Oh, you're a faker." Really? Am I? And there aren't fake gurus? But anyway, I just think it's funny, and it's because it's the same personality type that they have, because they're so insecure within themselves. They've programmed themselves to put something, their sort of self-worth, on something that isn't themselves, but something bigger than them. It's not bigger than them, but that's what they say, and so they're at fault for nothing, and then they go preach, and they preach and preach and preach, because that gives them their self-worth. And you do have to feel sorry for these people, because they're so stuck in the matrix, they don't realize it. And hopefully they will, over time, they will awaken, they will have a realization that all they need is a little bit more self-esteem, so they can drop their false egos, they can drop their false idols. When they say false idol, it hasn't been proven that Jesus wasn't just a made-up story. Of course, you could say gurus are real idols. There are some real ones, there are some false ones. I shouldn't really say false. It's not quite fair. Because how? Jesus could have been a real person, who knows? But anyway, where I wanted to go today. Energy. We can talk about Reiki. We can talk about shaktipat, shivapat, pranapat, chi, shen, wei. Quantum healing energy, light body energy. I'm probably missing loads of them. Angelic healing energy. Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing loads. Well, there's the NLT that I do as well. There's the reconnection energy. That's another one, another brand, claiming to be something different. However, all these energies are the same energy. Say you've got, one brand that'll say, oh, well, you do the healing with the heart. Another brand that says you do the healing with the hands. Another one that you'll find out comes mainly from the head. So what they're doing is they're just using a particular chakra to do the healing. So Reiki comes down into the head, in through the arms and into the hands, and you send it out. So that is your round chakra. It's not your pineal, it's a crown. I said then there are others that do others. And so any of these energies, chi, for example, chi is concentrated martial artists. They concentrate the chi on what they call the lower dantian. They build it there. But any of these, obviously we have 3 energy gates. So the dantians, the granthis in Indian, 3 energy stores, which are around the sacral chakra, the heart, and the head. And then we have obviously the chakras. We have the micro orbit. We have all the meridian systems. What makes the energy different? The way you channel it, okay, perhaps from above, from below, from within, from without. But it's basically where you channel it through. Technically, if you're channeling Kundalini energy, so you have the Shakti, which is the energy raising, you have the Shiva, which is the energy falling, then of course you would have the light body, which is both at the same time. But the difference with the Kundalini, as opposed to all the other brands, is it means your Kundalini is open, which means you've balanced all your chakras. Now be careful with what I say here, because there are brands out there that call themselves Kundalini, but the practitioners have not awoken their Kundalini. And if you're very attuned, you'll notice this, and you'll go to them. There's these facilitators of energy, and you say, oh, that's a very light, loving type of energy. It's because they're sending it from their heart. Oh, that's a very heavy energy. It gets me in my head a lot. Because perhaps they're using the pineal to send it. That's a very sexual energy. Well, that's the sacral or the root chakra, depending on how you look at it. That's the one they're using. So true Kundalini energy, full power Kundalini energy, can only happen when a practitioner, has their Kundalini fully open, fully awake, they are fully connected, and they have balanced their chakras. Because you balance your chakras to open your Kundalini, yes, but then obviously you have to rebalance them afterwards. And of course, Reiki energy. Why, when you see videos of people doing Reiki, why is it so much less powerful? When you go to Reiki practitioners, why is Reiki so much less powerful than, for example, what I'm doing now? You can feel the difference if you're connected. It's very simple, because people go to do a Reiki course, they get an attunement by someone else does it, and they suddenly say, oh, you can do Reiki. So these people, they've gone to this, and they mark this symbol, and I can do Reiki. And they never actually bother working on their own energy body, their own chakras. So basically, the energy they're sending is just very weak. Because it's like Reiki is chi. Chi is prana. Chi and prana is the same thing in different languages. The energy of Kundalini is the same as the energy, once it's been fully awakened, of the micro-orbit in Neigong, fully open. It's the same energy. It's not exclusive to any country. Shamans who have fully awakened the energy, they don't call it Kundalini, of course. They do represent it with the snake or the dragon in many cultures. So all these energies are the same. The only thing is, it depends the amount of work the person has done on themselves. Because some people say, oh, it's only to open for certain special people, gurus, blah, 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 blah. No. Anyone can do this. Anyone can be powerful in this, as long as they're committed to the practice of opening, of releasing their shadows, of balancing, researching, studying. For those that rely only on one guru will only get one point of view. Be careful with that. And of course, there will be people that do this, as I've said in other videos, for money. So they'll, a bit like Reiki, they'll, with their little symbol, they'll connect in, they'll do a session, they'll earn money, and then they'll close off and go about their regular life. They won't do any clearing, any cleansing, any shadow work. That's not just in Reiki, that's in lots of sessions. And they don't actually stay connected, and they fear staying connected. And because they fear staying connected, they will never be as powerful. And there have actually been many accounts of people who've been practicing for years. And the more they practice, shutting on and off, on and off, on and off, they slowly feel a disconnection from the energy. It gets weaker, even to the point that they get to a point that the energy cuts off from them. I'm not talking just, the odd weekend Reiki person. I'm talking about people who do this a lot. And they get cut off, and they have to step back and reset and it can take them ages. This is a calling rather than a way to earn money. Of course, you can use your calling to help others. There's nothing wrong with making money. Everybody has to survive, everybody has to live. Gurus are paid, maybe through donation, but they still have to live. And I know some gurus that go around talking Hindu religion. They go around and they get donations, and they go and live with the families for months at a time. But then when they go home, and their house is actually way nicer than the families they go and stay with, so they get paid. Some of them get paid very well. Not all of them. So people ask me why you don't call this Reiki. Because it's not. Because Reiki is a low level energy. So could Reiki be very powerful? Well, yeah, you just have to work your way through and build it up, and you can become very powerful in Reiki. And I do actually know people who have become very powerful with Reiki. But then it's not Reiki, it's not Qi, it's Rei Shen or Rei Wei. That gets confusing. Because they converted the Qi energy into Shen energy and into Wei energy. But the more I work with these energies, I said it's taken me a lifetime. The more I've studied with these energies, the more I research these energies, the more I play with these energies, the more one gets to learn, figure out, understand, acquire knowledge and wisdom about them. And then you could be researching. As I said, I've done Reiki for 20 years. And it's like it only just sort of dawned on me. It's like, hang on a sec, come on. This doesn't make sense. There isn't so much separation in the world. They're not that different. All energy is energy. It's being channeled in different ways. And it's true. What's different is the practitioner. Just like you get these people doing Reiki on YouTube. Good for them. Great, go for it. But they make the video, they do a little symbol, and that's all they do. Okay, that's good enough for people. Brilliant, awesome, good for them. But you don't need the symbol. And if those people only practice and dedicated time to figuring out what it is they do, they could become very powerful too. There are masters out there, Qi masters, very, very powerful. Way more powerful than a lot of gurus because they study it with the Qi. They convert the Qi to the Wei or the Shen. Power is internal. Dogma, internal alchemy. Awakening your Kundalini is internal. Not external, internal. It's not about the external magic of gods and spirits, and it's internal. Internal magic, if you wish. And I say magic because magic is anything that science hasn't explained. So if you are on your awakening journey, Kundalini, spiritual, maybe you're a martial artist studying Qi, an internal alchemist, an alchemist. You watch YouTube videos on alchemy. So much of alchemy talks about external stuff, demiurges, twin flames, which everybody gets wrong. Your twin flame isn't someone else, it's your higher self. It's a mistranslation. And they talk about all these external things. And so, of course, it's not about external alchemy, it's about internal alchemy. So they're missing the whole point. But those topics get good views. I said magic, it's not about connecting with God, spirits, but aligning internally. This isn't stuff I've made up. This is all written. It's been written down for ages. You just have to find it. You just have to do the research. Do the internal work. Clear your shadows, clear your traumas. Sit in the energy, build it, connect, balance your chakras. Self-practice, practice with others, practice in groups. It's been useful. The intention you set for the video today has worked now. Has it not? Namaste.